America with 10 Pegs and Crowns, and welcome back to my channel. Today I am bringing you along as I journal through the Take4 Holy Spirit devotional release from Open Journey. This is the word focus card that actually comes in the journaling ticket. No, this is not the journaling ticket. The journaling cards as an add-on option. Now these are not part of the actual physical kit. This is a separate option that you can add. These images are not the same that come in the actual physical kit, so you get a different kind of collection of images. But what she has started doing is including a word focus card in her kit, but also adding one to the journaling card. So those two cards are different. They're not the same word. And so if you want to, go ahead and pick this one up for the extra word, Overshadow. I believe that the other word was, yes, Holy Spirit. Unfortunately, I didn't create a process video for this, so this is a sneak peek of the other one. So this is actually what this process looks like for this one. I made sure to use the dove and some of the die cut add-on and some fabric that I stamped. And so this is how this one came out. But if this is actually inspired by Lindsay Decor. Now Lindsay Decor has stepped away for a little bit, or she is not as active and present in the Bible journaling community as much. She has actually taken up a full-time job, so she's just not available as much. We do miss her. We hope to see her, as much as we can. But she has a series in her YouTube channel called Word Study Wednesday, and she does a phenomenal job of going in depth and studying the word and then creating on the card itself. So through the years, that's who inspired me to work through these journaling cards, the word focus cards. And so, you just, aside from the physical kit, you can take a little Holy Spirit led trail and, do more studying on a particular word. I do want to add that Ingrid does offer these one in her physical kit, one in her journaling cards add-on option, but she also has word focus card sets. Now she offers, I believe, 3 sets, and I have all 3, but it's like a set number of words, but I actually opted out to alphabetize all 3 sets. So they're all kind of mixed in together, and I'll show you how you can tell the difference. This is probably from the very first word focus set, because it doesn't have like a 2 or a 3. And because a word focus card that comes from the set 2 will have the word focus 2. And a card that comes from the 3rd set will say word focus 3. So if you decide to alphabetize like I did, it just makes it easier for me when I want to, look for a particular word. It's already in alphabetical order, and I don't have to rummage through all 3 sets separately. This is how I opted out to, organize my word focus card sets. And if you didn't watch my last 2 videos ago, I think it was an unboxing, you will know, or if you did see it, you will know. And if you didn't, I'm going to reiterate that Ingrid is working on a 4th word focus card set. So I'm super excited about it. I'm wondering what kind of words she's included, because when I look at this and the past words that I've already worked on, and some that I actually haven't worked through that have been included for the Take 4 series, I'm kind of wondering, can she find more words? This is already a lot. So I'm really excited to see what that set looks like and what words are included. But for now, I worked on the word overshadow. And so I'm really, really excited how this one came out. I had no vision for this one. I knew I wanted to use purples and yellows because of the die cut flowers. And so I really liked how it came together. This, it's kind of messy because I grabbed it when the ink was still wet, but this is from the Firestarter Word Fetty. If you purchase the Firestarter digital option kit, she gives you a whole sheet of words that you can print out and use as necessary. So these are kind of like the mini word focus cards, which come in these small sticker words. And so, but these are already, you know, kind of like distressed and vintaged and worn out color patterns. So I like these. And so she does include these in some of the kits, not all, but this is from the fire starter little word fetty page. And so this is in the digital kit. But yeah, so if you want to see how this came together, you know, continue to keep watching, and let's get started. Okay, friends, I'm going to go ahead and put this video on fast forward. It is sped up to the max because this was a super long video. I will be using the Prima Vintage Pastels watercolor pan set. I just really like these colors. They're really soft. And I will also be attempting to try to use all of those elements, the dove and all the whites and the purple flowers from the die cut add-on option from the Holy Spirit release. And one tip that I learned from Lindsay Decor was that if you didn't want some of the background artwork on the actual title of your word focus card, was to use some kind of washi. I don't know what it's called, but she used another type of washi tape to cover the words so that it didn't actually, like, you know, soak into those words and kind of, you know, just kind of blur it out. So that's the technique, or the hack that I used here, was to make sure that that was covered with the washi tape. One of the techniques for using watercolors that I prefer, now you can go use the technique that's called dry on dry technique, and that just wet on dry, which just means you use the watercolor onto dry, you know, canvas or paper. However, I just don't like the way the color wicks. So it kind of sets into the porous paper. So I like to wet the paper so it's soaking wet, and then I like to apply the ink or the watercolor onto it. So that way it kind of just wicks out more organically, kind of like if it was, you know, a slick surface per se. I do use my heat gun to make sure that once I apply in layers that it's completely dry. I also, you saw me go in at the very edges of where the watercolor was to kind of define where it ended, so that when I add my elements, you know, it does show up as well. For the background, I wanted to add also some yellow. So I didn't want to add any yellow actual colors to it, like a background color, like I did with the purple watercolor. So I went ahead and grabbed one of the stencils that was released with this devotional release this past month, and I wanted to use the script one. I did use a dauber to try to get into those fine details, and so I did use a yellow distress color because, again, I want to kind of, you know, make this all work together, since I was using some yellow elements, which is kind of like that viney element die cut, and I wanted to incorporate that into the background somehow. I am using the word glory from the Firestarter word fetty, and when I was looking at my card, I kind of saw that it was kind of, you know, plain. I decided to use a little piece of fabric because I didn't want to overburden the background and want it to be so busy. So I decided to stamp onto the piece of fabric. I used the reward. Was it the reward? The treasure. I'm sorry, not reward. Treasure. The reward stamp set, the one with all the script seal, and I stamped that on there. And then I used the heart cut stamp set, and I used the little cross in purple to, you know, just bring some of that purple back in, since I was going to put the die cut as the main focus, and that was the yellow die cut. I also wanted to add a little bit of splatters. Of course, that is always my go-to. I love splatters, as you can tell. That palette is strictly for splatters. Like, I do not use it for anything else but splatters at this point. I did opt out to use that word focus fetty card of the word glory to kind of cover the dove that was in that seal sticker, just because I was already going to put the big dove die cut onto the card, and I didn't really think it needed 2 doves on that, on the journaling artwork. So I opted out to cover the second dove, or the little dove, on that sticker. Again, just because I felt like I wanted glory, that she's looking up at his glory type of idea. I did go ahead and glue down the yellow vine die cut, because that is the placement that I wanted in. And then I played with the placement of the other elements, which is the purple flowers and the actual sticker. And just to see, where I wanted it as well. And so again, I usually try not to work in big clusters unless it has a lot of moving parts. And when I was working on the cluster, I realized that the sticker was kind of flimsy, and I wanted to use foam adhesive tape to kind of make it stand out from the actual card a little bit, especially because I was going to use the fabric behind it. So I decided to put the sticker on a piece of cardstock and then cut that out. So it was a little bit more sturdy than just like, a sticker paper. Then I went ahead and added the purple flowers and glued them to the little sticker seal, because I didn't want those to move when I went ahead and placed them down onto the paper. But I also wanted it to stand up out from the card itself as well. So usually when I try to do things in a cluster, I tend to glue together what kind of goes together, so it makes it easy when I lay it on the page. And so after I glue it, I did put a little bit of piece of tape, and you'll see me kind of fuss with that later. So I'm using the Tim Holtz tiny stapler to adhere the piece of fabric, because I do want a lot of organic movement to it, and so I didn't want to glue that down as well. But also because I used Distress Oxides to stamp the fabric, I didn't want the actual glue to activate any of the distress properties of that ink, and so I didn't want it to just start running and being fluid as well, and then just ruin the whole stamping thing. I went ahead and added some some thread to the back of the dove, because I kind of felt like it was a little bit plain. Didn't have a real meaning. I thought that it was a little bit too plain, and I didn't really want to add too much to the background. I didn't want to make it so busy, because I wanted the focal point to be the actual dove and the image of the girl, which is a little small, but it worked because in size reference with the journaling card, it just was, the perfect size. So this is where you see me fuss with the tape. When I add the foam adhesive to the back of this, I put it over the tape, and it didn't quite adhere to it like it usually does. I'm not sure why. I don't know if it was just, kind of peeled back and it lost this stickiness. So I had to remove it and add another piece. Adding the round sticker seal to the card, and like I said, this was really easy. I really enjoyed it. Oops, sorry about that. That's my timer. Really enjoyed working through this journaling card and working through the word focus cards. I'm sorry, not journaling card, the word focus card. And so this was the final result. I am really, really happy with the background. I usually try to overdo it, and so less is more sometimes, and I really loved it. So yeah, but thank you for stopping by today and joining me as I work through the Overshadow journaling word focus card for Open Journey, for the Holy Spirit devotional release. And I hope to see you next time. Love you. Bye.